Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It's time for some Geopolitical Simulator 4, Ethiopia. I'm your host, Kelvin. So, in a rather interesting turn of events, I've learned we will not be invading Somalia today because of a terrifying bug that exists in the game. Under no circumstances should you ever invade a country that is currently undergoing a civil war. Should you win that war, you will occupy every city in this country, including any under control of the rebels. And here's where the problem begins. Should you do that, then I just do not. The rebel armies will remain in the city and you will have no way to attack them. So there will be thousands of rebels in the cities that you can never get rid of and will cause terrorist attacks all over your country and, well, everything else. Take a wild guess. Alright. So, we will not be invading Somalia today, as I've learned. Holy fuck, that's broken. We're just gonna pretend that it doesn't happen. Alright. So, how are we doing otherwise? Life expectancy is up to 89. How much higher is it gonna get? Like, this is kind of bad. It really is. Like, I am really getting concerned. And our budget excess is slowly going down. Yeah. Because people are getting older because, you know, our life expectancies just suddenly become 91. Alright, well, we're gonna increase the tax company turnover 25%, I guess. There. We'll give it, say, good buffer. That will give us a good buffer. I mean, I'm just trying to wonder, you know, what at this point deficit requires attention. Okay, well, I think the budget deficit requires attention. Yeah, this... Yeah, there's something going on. Taken hostage by a terrorist group. Japan discovers nuclear fission. Man, you know what I hope our research eventually does? Discovers something. This nuclear electricity and nuclear submarines. This would be great. So much shit. Traffic's jam? Probably. No compromise with the terrorists. Well, to be fair, I wasn't planning on compromises with the terrorists. Like, I'll just be on vacation for a month. I mean, I'm pretty much just looking to try and pay off debt at this point. Because, as we saw, I'm currently expending like 15% of my fucking budget on debt reimbursements. Yeah. So, step 1, pay off our debts. Step 2, care about everything else. That is far larger than we should be. Human Sharing Solidarity Foundation, President, funeral ceremony, of course, will attend. Hostage taking. Well, I didn't even receive demands yet, so there's nothing I can do. Funeral. There we are. Well, we instantly got to 100%. Public finances and funeral. Alright. Funeral's worth it, apparently. Alright. There we go. Christ. Yeah. Our debt reimbursement is now 17.2%. Like, this is a problem. Like, bankruptcy kind of problem. I mean, Christ, I know the US pays off a lot of debt like that, but That's not something I can take on as a underdeveloped, non-industrialized African country. So, step one, pay the fuck off our debt. It's going to come around April 9th, and we're going to figure out how much debt we pay off. What our budget surplus for the quarter is. Execution. Oh well. We'd not negotiate with terrorists. Not that they even gave me a chance to negotiate. So there's nothing I can do, really. A 10 billion cash surplus. Good. I like that. Ain't bad at all. A 10 billion cash surplus. That is better. Holy fuck, is that better. Alright. So we still have a, 35 billion debt? And considering our debt reimbursement just dropped because suddenly everyone's like, holy fuck, you're actually capable of paying back this much debt. We're not going to drive you to bankruptcy. We're going to offer you semi-reasonable rates, unless you're India. I mean, really, the only one who's offering me a good rate is the US, but that's fine, considering they are like the majority holder of my debt. And the World Bank has a flat rate of 1% and is also the second biggest holder of my debt. So we're holding on okay with that. But we're going to have to keep paying off, I think. Because we can see what can happen. Stagnating around 0%. Yeah, I know. It's a problem. Alright. Went up the minimum wage to $2.50. Since we can. Like, that shouldn't be too bad. How's inflation coming down? Key interest rate, sadly, it just wasn't helping. So, inflation rate, we're down to 65%. Good. Inflation in Venezuela is down to 45%. We still managed to be the worst in the world. Well, I mean, there's probably also... Wait, why isn't Zimbabwe on that? Shouldn't Zimbabwe be a lot higher? Right? Apparently not. Yeah. Hopefully we can bring it under control, though. We have what amounts to a completely stagnant economy. Okay. Yeah, we need to try and up our minimum wage. Try and actually get some unemployment, as it turns out. Yeah, I like how people are sad about employment. It's like, I'm sorry, is anyone actually unemployed? No? Then stop bitching. Good God. Alright. Public finances have improved, because suddenly I can tax poor people more. Growth rate, negative 0.26. Okay. Still no minimum wage. Let's give it another week, or still no unemployment. Let's give it another week, raise it another 50, see what happens. Because apparently we have a negative economic growth rate right now, which might free up a few people here and there. I'm having some doubts about that, but we'll see. All right. Who leaves the government? Oh. Our Minister for Education left the government. I see. That's fine. No, apparently hasn't left the government. What the fuck's going on? Everyone now wants salary increases. A looming food crisis. The steel sector is up and running again. Holy fuck, finally. I assume that means that there's some unemployment? Like, yeah, fill it. Because manpower. That's a good start. That is totally a good start. We have hired 2.7 people, everyone. Notice how there's no little K in the brackets there? It's just 2.7 people. Alright. Alright. So we now have a minimum salary of 300 ETB, or about $100 US per month. Thanks to fucking inflation wiping out so much of our currency value. Alright. Agencies A and B. Yeah. Okay. In particular, we're going to be looking to see what happens to our unemployment after this. $22. All idiots. Alright, so. Still no unemployment. Alright. And how's the steel sector doing? We've hired 8.2 people. Okay. Yep. On a side note, how's population growth doing? Is there any hope for us there? I mean, birth rate's kind of shit still. I've been trying to keep contraception rates as low as possible, to be honest. Life expectancy looks like it's finally fucking flatlined at 90. Because, you know, we're ahead of all the fucking first world countries on that. And I thought, you know, life expectancy was a very important part of the HDI, so we should totally have a higher HDI than 44. Come on. GDP per capita stagnating. We have no one living below the poverty line, and urbanization is at least slowly going up. Okay. Yeah, population growth is kind of crap. Okay. About some things up here. So, we have mass people leaving the country, and we have no illegal immigrants. Yeah, no tourist visas. No. We're good. I mean, again, I'm tempted to just keep raising the minimum wage some more.
The funeral will take place.
Yeah. Well, the funeral will go. Sure. Inflation's still dropping. Good. So the minimum wage isn't affecting inflation, which is strange. You'd think the minimum wage would at least have some effect on inflation. I mean, really, though. What's the matter now? Man, that keeps dropping. What's eating into it these days? Education, probably? Yeah. Still trying to hire more teachers. Primary school attendance rates remain stagnant, but we're still fighting to try and keep the student-teacher ratio a little better. If we can. Number of higher education students continues to increase, though, so lack spaces in the secondary school system. Now, normally I would say, yeah, sure, but I mean, come on, we've even expanded it. And found some extra teachers. I'm more concerned about getting more teachers, to be honest. Oh, hey, a disaster. In Syria. Atomic radiation. When is there even a nuclear power plant out here? Where did this come from? It appears to be on the city itself. Interesting. I'm not entirely certain what Syria did in order to pull that off, but good on them, I guess. 4%. I'm impressed that the AIs managed to last that long. It's ended the Civil War and cleaned things up. And it looks like total jihad was, or the jihadist caliphate was taken down by Iraq. That probably helps. Alright. Desire for repositioning. No. Okay. Well, I mean, our budget excess is going down. Alright, so 50.11 ETB. I'm going to wait a month, and I'm just going to... Well, we're going to wait a week first. Just see what our cash surplus is. Perfect. That's what I like to see. So, that puts down another chunk of our fucking loan. Assassinations. Like, these terrorists aren't even that big. I guess they have a lot of sympathizers. Try and give them the old infiltration. We'll see what happens. Alright. Yeah, public finances is improving as we slowly try and work down our debt. Yes, the Herai... Yes, we know they took responsibility. They're the only ones who would do that. Alright. So, budget as a percentage of GDP is dropping pretty good. We're starting to get this under control. Stagnating around 0%. So yeah, there is growth. Good. Good to see. And as it turns out, not bad. I mean, like, I'm pretty happy with this. We've gotten down a lot of this fucking stuff here. Like, we're down to 34 billion-ish? Yeah.
But are you crazy?
I'm not crazy. I'm not exactly... I got this message a lot in GPS 3 as well. I could never figure out how to close the gap between the rich and the poor. I mean, unless it's really just meant to be a political statement about how it's impossible, which would be funny. Because you'd think at this point with an inheritance tax of 75%, an income tax of 35%, a tax of all large fortunes of 20%, a tax of financial transactions on 20%. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure. You know, one tax that kind of got me that never seemed to exist here was a separate capital gains tax. I mean, I have to assume that's rolled up into the income tax, which would make sense, but a lot of countries separate the two. I'm just wondering if that's in here somewhere and I'm missing it. Profits of the companies, tax and redundancies. Could do that. Industrial pollution, which would probably be bad. I mean, really, if anything, we'd want to do this, but that does nothing. I mean, I guess, like, companies count as rich people, and I really am trying to, you know, make life a little easier for companies, and except for that whole turnover tax part, but to be fair, they're footing most of my fucking bill for everything these days, so hard to complain. Yeah, the growth rate is, for all intents and purposes, just completely stagnant while we try and fix various issues in the country, including our debt, which, to be fair, it's still kind of high. But we're getting there. We're solving the debt crisis that we had before. 15% of our freaking budget. The energy industry is in trouble. I mean, I doubt this. I severely doubt this. Yeah, solar-powered electricity is just a little bit. Our national consumption is hovering around 24 right now. And our energy production's up to 29. Yep. Good. Alright. I see no cause for concern, really. Barely emitting anything. I'd say we're doing pretty well, and the fact that our nuclear power plant's stored all the way down here, away from any really populated area, except Kenya, but nobody cares about Kenya, and would totally not poison the Nile River or anything. Seems fine to me. Yeah, seems fine to me. I think we're good. I do not believe the energy industry is in particularly much trouble. And I mean, really, I would personally love to impose a price reduction on electricity. Problem is that would be so much money. It dies on mission as usual. We have 13 billion. Like, I could blow it and just make electricity really cheap, which would probably improve a lot of operating expenses for businesses as well as people. That might just do it. Might just help a lot. Although I'm still kind of iffy on that. I still kind of want to pay off everything here before that. Like, we still have a lot of stuff. Like, the current rate from the U.S. is as good as it gets. Can't get any lower than that, really. So, like, I just want to pay most of this crap off. Fucking India's charging. Presence and troops near our borders. I wasn't aware I even had troops near your border. I'm pretty confident saying I do not have troops near your borders. Sir, with all due respect, I believe your Prime Minister is smoking crack. Empties and labs. Yeah, well, there's nothing I can do about that. Trust me, I've been trying. We've had a hiring campaign. We have stupid high monthly salaries. We actually have more people than we used to, so that's an improvement. Yeah, it's going up. Or went up. I guess, yeah, probably went up on graduation, didn't it? Yeah, just goes up on graduation month. It'll go up again next year. We'll hire some more people. Yeah. Alright. Turns out that's going to be some problems. Alright. Alright, so how's our pet project, the steel industry, doing? We've hired 13.72 people. Alright. Yeah, flex those industrial muscles. Good lord. This is part of the problem as to why having absolutely no unemployment is part of a problem. Alright, so, out of curiosity, how much are we paying these people? Above the minimum wage. That said, might be time to just drive up the minimum wage again. In the hopes of trying to create unemployment, so that way we can actually, slowly start moving people over to industry and out of agriculture. I mean, part of the thing is in 2021, our contracts with the U.S. run out. Like, that's going to reduce the size of our economy significantly. And I kind of need to have an industrial backbone with which to take the fall. I can't create an industrial backbone if we literally have no unemployment with which to slowly move people over from the agri sector to the industrial sector. So this is starting to get bad. Like, the clock is ticking against me here, so I kind of am going to have to start friggin' forcing it through or something. Okay. Yeah, that's been stagnating. So currently we're trading what? Wood? Yeah. They barely hired anyone. They hired 300,000 people. You guys hired 600,000 people. So there's a million. That would be 1% of our unemployment. Where the absolute shit did all of our people go? Like, where did all of our unemployment disappear, or all of our employment issues go to? Like, employment seems to have dropped across the boards. Like, employment percentages have dropped here. In total, in Manpower, they've hired 500,000 people. Industry has hired 1 million. They've actually lost people, and it's not surprising. And energy has lost people. Okay. So, considering my population, 98%. I'd have to assume that my lack of unemployment is a bug or something. Could my economy have just been fucked from the start? Would explain a lot of things why things are working that shouldn't work. Would So our unemployment just vanished. The unemployed people didn't go anywhere, did they? They just kind of disintegrated. I kind of believe it at this point, because none of that makes sense. None of a lot of things I've done in this game make sense. I have come to the unfortunate conclusion that this game is completely broken, or at least whatever the hell I did at the start with the contracts to the US has made it completely broken. I don't know what to say. Like, this clears up some things. This totally clears up some things. I can say that right now. The bad news. Yeah. Oh, plus that child mortality rate's down to 88. The bad news. Yeah. I don't know where my unemployed went. Because one would assume that of 100 billion people, give or take, that approximately 25% would be working class adults at the very least, which would make 5% unemployment from the difference in manpower total. Let me just triple check my math here, because we've hired, we went 1.5, so somewhere around 6 to 7%, right? Now, if memory should serve, our unemployment rate started at 17%. Meaning, I should only be at roughly 11%. And that would only be a smaller number if more than 25% of my people were working class people. I'm going to try something. I'm actually going to save. I'm going to save here. I just need to try something. I'm going to get rid of the monthly rent allowance. Like, did everyone just stop searching for jobs because I was giving them too much money there? Did that happen? Well, let me just check. Let's just decimate this, which will inevitably probably cause my instant regime collapse, but let's find out. Let me guess, 0%?
The situation is getting
2%. 2%, everyone. But no. I'm just hoping that we survive long enough to see what happens to the unemployment rate. Like, could that be a thing? Could that be a thing? Yeah. Use the military. Use the military. And use the military. Don't worry. As a temporary fix. Hey everyone, have some medicine. That only costs like 5 billion ETB. That's fine. Temp fix. There we are. Get out of here. We're fine. We're fine. The military is just going to slaughter everybody. Now. I just have to double check. Unemployment rate still 0.10. Ah. Well, I believe our unemployment rate... remain the same. So... Fuck. I'm not entirely certain what to say. Other than, approximately at the very least, 12% of my unemployed literally vanished into thin air. To which I have yet to find out, how to fix. Which kind of is a problem, because I need those 12% in order to actually grow the economy. So, unfortunately, apparently there will be no main series of Geopolitical Simulator 4. This game's too buggy. Like, what the fuck? Alright. You know what? I'm not going to say that right now. But if anyone happened to double check over my numbers and actually finds out where my unemployed went, please let me know. Please. Please let me know. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been your lovely host, Kelvin, signing off.